What is up? It's Slut and Taters. Today I'm actually going to share the 4Loki power rating system that I created a couple seasons ago. 4Loki has been using that power rating system, and we have a lot of fun with it. I think the word's kind of gotten out around the community a little bit. I've had a lot of people request for the template for the algorithm, and so I want to share that. So I'm going to kind of walk through how the power rating system works, and then I will show you how to properly maintain the algorithm. How it does require a little bit of upkeep from season to season if you want it to work as accurately as possible. Because ultimately, what feeds the power rating for each alliance and for each player in the alliance, what feeds the algorithm is more data from past seasons. So the data that we've been using in 4Loki for the Season 7 power ratings, for example, is collected from Seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then after Season 7, I will just do a couple minor edits to the algorithm, actually just adding in Season 7 data, so that for Season 8 we'll have a more refined power rating algorithm for every player, and that'll actually change what a player's power rating can be. And it's not that complicated. It's just a little complex. So there are some moving parts that you just need to maintain to make sure that your power rating is operating as I intended for it to. Anyway, so let's get into this. All right, I'm going to hide my face since I've done my introduction here. Okay, and we are just going to kind of talk about it. So the power rating is built from this little thing that I call it the adjusted difficulty rating, or ADR. And what that does is it's going to assign a difficulty rating to every single node. So nodes 1 through 55, it's going to assign a difficulty rating to that fight, so that if, for example, Brian Grant, sorry to use your name, Brian, if Brian Grant fights node 55, or let's say Brian Grant fights node 29, okay, and he solos that node, he's going to be rewarded more power rating points for soloing that node than he would be for soloing node 1, for example, because we all know that node 29 is more difficult. And then, of course, on the flip side, if he were to die on node 29, he's going to be penalized less in terms of power rating points than if he were to die on node 1, which, if nobody in the alliance has died on node 1, then he's going to suffer a higher point penalty. So the basis of all of this, the foundational concept behind all of this, is that, as everybody that's played this game knows, all nodes are not equal. Some are considerably harder than others. And if you're going by Kabam's in-game MVP rating system, or however that algorithm works or something like that, or you're just going by how many fights somebody takes, then you're not actually really getting to the basis of of a player's value, and value is kind of a tricky word too. So there are people that have lower power ratings that are extremely valuable because they take fewer fights. So there's a lot to consider, but I think you get my gist, and if you don't, feel free to comment on the video or send me a direct message online, on the Line app, and maybe I can clear some things up like that. So, okay, so let's kind of walk through how this adjusted difficulty rating works, all right? So what is needed from anybody that is going to try to implement this power rating system with your alliance is you need to have death data from at least one past season. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, for Loki, we have kept exhaustive death data and statistics and stuff from our alliance since season 3. All right, so this is how it's going to work, okay? So if you have seasons, all data dating back all the way to season 3, then basically you're going to have, and this is for the entire alliance, you're going to have statistics like this. And all we're calculating here is the number of times somebody has died. Okay, so let's actually put deaths by season. All right. And then we'll do this. We'll just merge this. And this will be on the template. This will just stay this way. Okay, so node 54 is the boss. That's why it's highlighted in purple there. Okay, so let's say in season 3, your alliance died 30 times to the boss node. Like the entire alliance died 30 times to the boss node. All right, and then let's say season 4, you guys died 25 times. Season 5, you died 20 times. And then season 6, you died 15 times. All right, so we're going to scroll down here, and I'm gonna explain exactly how this number pops up. All right. Okay, so down here, this is a key thing for you. Okay, and another key element to the algorithm to make sure that it's working properly is that you have all of these fields, every single node, filled out on your, on this, in this area, so that it can pull all of the information, because part of the algorithm that's going to populate this difficulty rating for each fight is going to incorporate this average number down here. Okay, so what this is kind of the key cell here. All right, so if you look up here, all we're doing is we are taking the sum of these seasons. Okay, so this is going to take the total number of deaths from all of these nodes, okay, from all the seasons that you're able to input. All right, so you've got 4 seasons of data that are going to go into this number here. All right, so you're just going to have the sum here, right? And then it's going to be divided by, and then here you've got 150. Now, don't touch this number. Just leave it as is. This number is the number of total defenders that you are going to face against per war, against an alliance that places 5 defenders and has 30 members. So 5 defenders per member and has 30 members. So this is the maximum number of opponents or defenders that you are going to face in an alliance war, 150, okay? And then 12 is, of course, the number of total wars per season, okay? And then this number is something that you will have to upkeep. This is the number of seasons that are being used in your algorithm, okay? So, oops, I actually screwed that up a little bit. All right, so we've got, so from season to season, for example, so let's say that you're only going to do season 6. A lot of people are only going to do season 6, right? All right, so let's get this shit out of here. Let's just delete that because you don't actually have that information. So season 6, all right, you want to come down here, and you can go up to this field, or you can double click here, and then you can edit it right here. But so you want to only include E59, this cell here, right? All right, and then you're not going to change either of these. 150 and 12, those are going to stay exactly the same, because this is the number of wars. This is the number of defenders that you're going to fight if your opponent places a full defense. So you're not going to change those ever. Even if your opponent doesn't place a full defense for a war, it doesn't matter. Don't touch these. Okay, and then this number here, okay, it's 4, but we're actually only using data from one previous season. So we're going to change that to 1, okay? All right, and then I did put up these protections so that when you guys make a copy of this, so you can start implementing the power rating system with your own alliance, it's going to tell you what I think you need to be warned to, like, just be careful when you're editing this, because if you screw something up or accidentally push a button and it erases the algorithm, for example, it's going to throw the entire system off, and then you're going to be upset with me for creating some stupid system. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to have data for this entire season. Okay, so what you can do, what I would recommend, if you're only using data from season 6, you can actually delete these columns here. For the purposes of this, I'm just going to hide them for now. But let's say on node 55, you guys died 10 times. Node 53, 10 times. Node 52, let's say 5. Node 51, 5. And then, let's say, let's do 4 here. And I'm just going to kind of randomize this. Nobody died on node 49. Node 48, let's say 4. All right, here we go. All right, this is kind of a tough one, so let's go 5 here. I'm just making up these numbers, obviously. Biohazard, let's say 3. And again, these values, I mean, you're going to pull these values from your own data, all right? And if you want to use this power rating system and you don't actually have data for Season 6, you want to start on Season 7 collecting data, but you still want to use the power rating system, then my recommendation would be to go ahead and manually put in, just put in arbitrary values like I'm doing right now, based on the fights that you feel or that your alliance feels are the most difficult, or the ones that you think that you guys have struggled with the most in previous seasons. Okay, so 31, that's kind of a tough node. Let's say 4 for the total alliance. 30, that's definitely a tough node. Let's say 10. And then 29, let's go ahead and say 25. You guys really struggled with node 29. 28 is pretty tough. Let's go 8. 27, let's go 6. And then nobody dies on this. Let's say 2 here. 24, let's go 7. This is kind of a tough one. All or nothing, let's say 2 people died. And then let's just start going down the list. This is kind of tough. Oh, node 16 is not too easy. And this is going to make sense here in a second, okay? So I'm taking the time to do this just because it's going to make a little bit more sense. So I'm just assigning these values. All right, so node 10, I don't think any of these are tough, right? I guess no, not really. Okay, so let's say that you guys went clean. Let's go ahead and say down here one of you guys died on node 1. All right, so in Season 6, right, if you actually have the data, and this is your alliance's data for Season 6, then you died 147 times in Season 6. Total, as an alliance. Everybody in the alliance, even people that you kicked or that left, everybody that was in the alliance in Season 6, as an alliance, you guys died 147 times. Okay, so I need to take this number here, all right, 0.0817, and I'm just going to Command-C on your Mac, okay, or I'm just going to right-click and I'm going to copy. So I'm going to copy this value, all right, and then up here, what I need to do is I need to adjust this algorithm here, all right? And actually, look, we gotta adjust all this. All right, so we're gonna take those out. We still need to adjust this to 1, all right? And then this number here, we need to adjust this to the average. Boom. And then we're gonna click enter, and then then we've got the right value. So we're pulling data from 1 season, 150 defenders, 12 wars, 1 season, and then this is going to be this average number down here, okay? So this is all important. And look, this might all seem confusing, like, wait, what? He's just making this shit up as he goes. I'm not, okay? I'm not. So, this gives you values for every single fight, okay? So now what I'm going to do, so this would be like how you define how difficult one of the nodes is based on how your alliance has performed. So this could be totally different for another alliance. So if I were to take Kenobi, for example, so Kenobi is a great alliance. The reason I'm using them as an example is last year they finished #1. They won Season 6. So let's say that these guys soloed every boss, right? Because they've got a bunch of skilled players, and you know the boss is obviously visible, so you've got 10 people that you can choose from if you're a battle group leader to have that, you know, to have a specialist attack the boss node. So let's say that they died 0 times. All right, that's going to change this value, right? That's gonna make the difficulty rating for this node lower, right? All right, so I'm going to keep this data here just to show you guys. So ultimately, the reason we have a difficulty rating is so that we can produce a point bonus for every kill and then a death penalty for every death, or a penalty for every death that's going to factor into the power rating. So I'm going to go ahead and close this, because if you guys notice here, the kill bonus for each node is actually just a condensed decimal version of this big number, because some of these numbers get pretty big. So we're just going to hide this for now. You guys can leave it up. You guys do whatever you want, but we're going to hide this for now. Also, that little pop-up, that warning, you can click Don't Show Me Again for 5 minutes, or you can disable it all on your own if you want to. But it's only going to pop up for this selected range and then for some other selected ranges that I really don't think that you guys should touch, because if you touch them and you screw it up, it does get really complicated trying to figure out why the system is not working. I've done that quite a lot. So I've put in a lot of safeguards here so that hopefully, you know, like if you just fat thumb the keyboard or something like that, then it's not going to throw everything off. All right, so now if we kind of look through here, we can see which fights were more difficult to us. All right, so we're going to go to node 29. All right, so as an alliance in season 6, this was the node where we died the most times, 25. Okay, so if I am going into node 29 and I'm in your alliance, and if I die, so let's say I'm player 1. All right, I'm player 1. This is war 1. So war 1, I take node 29 and I take it down, but I die once. Okay. So I got a kill, but I also gave a death. All right, I'm still gonna get net 2.26 power rating points for that fight, even though I died once, because I know that the fight is so difficult that I should be rewarded more for getting a kill there, and I should be penalized less right here for dying there. So if I die on node 29, it's going to be minus 0.44 power rating points for me, versus if I die on node 32, which last season in our alliance nobody died on, then I'm going to be penalized 1.18 points. All right, so let's just say I die on node 32 and a backup comes in to clean up that fight, right? Then I'm losing power rating points because things happen, of course, everybody dies, and you know, some nodes you just get unlucky and maybe you're not on your game, but I should be penalized for dying on a node that nobody in the entire alliance died on last season, right? Okay, and then here's the other thing. If I solo node 32, well, that's great, but guess what? 100% of the people in my alliance last season soloed this node also, so should I really get a huge reward in my points? Like, can I use this data from last season to determine that this was a difficult node last season? No. It was an easy node. Nobody died there, so I'm going to only get +1 points because I should have soloed that node. Okay, and then if you guys notice here, all these zeros, you're never going to get less than 1 full point, power rating point for each kill. All right, so that's the baseline. It'll never dip below this, but your penalty can dip below 1 if it was a really difficult fight, and it can go over 1 if it was a really easy fight and you just messed it up. All right, so I'm just going to throw together some fights here. Obviously, if you take node 29, there's no way that you can get to node 32, but I'm just demonstrating here how this works. Okay, so this is for War 1, all right? So And let's say I died on the boss node. All right. So this is just for War 1, but all of these populate. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hide this. This is War 1. All right. I'm going to hide War 1 now, because now we're on to War 2. All right, so let's say War 2, I take a different path. Things are going really well. Let's say I have a clean war, right? I'm going to expand this, all right? So we have individual wars, cells for individual wars for the entire season, up to 12. And the reason is if you realize that your data is off or that you missed something when you're inputting the data from however you guys collect it, like in line chats, like however you track who gets a kill and who dies, then you can go back and you can easily find the mistake, all right? All right, so let's hide all this, right? I'm going to hide all this just to condense it a little bit. All right, now I can scroll down and I can see that player 1 for the season is at 10 kills and 2 deaths, and his power rating is 11.49. All right, now here's the other thing. You don't want to pull power rating from this sheet. This is the data input sheet. This is where you put in all your data. If you look down here, we've got a power ratings tab. All right, you click on the power ratings tab, and now I can see, oh, look at that. All right, this pulls all the data from the adjusted difficulty rating system. So you're going to use this sheet, adjusted difficulty rating, to input all of your data for everybody in your alliance or in your battle group, however you guys want to split up the work. Okay, and then power ratings, you can go over here, and here's a nice, clean way to actually look at the power rating system, or actually look at the power rating score. So over the course of a season, let's throw in some more numbers for player 1. All right. So I'm just going to combine a whole bunch of numbers. So let's say fought that node 6 times, 8 times. Let's do 1. Let's do 6 times. And let's say he died twice here. All right. So let's throw in some fights here too. So let's go 3. He struggled on that node. Let's go 8, 9, 11. Right, so he's a beast. He just struggled on node 29. All right, so we can go over here, and now I can see player 1, 32 kills, 4 deaths. His solo rate is 88.89, so 89% solo rate. Player 2, 32 kills, 5 deaths, but he's got a higher power rating. How the hell is that possible? Well, he took harder fights, so his power rating per kill is 1.13, all right? And then what you can do is you can actually go through and you can sort. So I can go through, I can highlight the field that I want to sort. I can go up to data, sort range, column F, right? Because F is power rating. The other thing that you can do, oh, hold on. All right, so we're going to select column F. That's the power rating column you see right here. And we want to sort by power rating. Right, and then we're going to go Z to A because we want the bigger numbers on the top. So we're going to do that. All right, now it's got it, now it's got it sorted for me. So at the end of a season, what we do in For Loki as kind of just a fun way to engage with all the members is we sort by the entire alliance. And then we have a For Loki champion that we give them this champion title if they finish the season with the highest power rating. So last season in Season 6 for Loki, just based on the number of fights, based on the solo rate, and based on the difficulty of fights, the For Loki champion of last season was everybody's favorite Ghost player, Panaman Pete. Of course, Nick F. also, if you guys see him on YouTube, he's in For Loki. He is also just a tremendous Ghost player. So they're both our favorite Ghost player. But Panaman Pete finished with the top power rating in For Loki. I think Brian was 3rd in For Loki. He had another amazing season. And then in Season 5, the first season that we really started digging in with power ratings, Dreamin', everybody's favorite Morningstar player, everybody's favorite complainer, was he finished at the top, and second to him was B. Manny. So, so it's a really kind of fun and engaging way to do it. In my battle group, we like to share. I share the power rating updates after every single war so that everybody knows where they stand. It's just kind of a fun, camaraderie thing that we do in For Loki. And then also, if some people are struggling, it lets them know, like, look, yeah, maybe I've struggled. I feel like I've had a bad season, but look at my power rating. I've actually been taking really difficult fights. Look at my power rating per kill is really high because I've been taking node 29 a lot or something like that. And then in other cases, somebody might have a few more deaths than other people, that their solo rate might be a little bit lower, and they know, like, all right, cool, I need to step this up. I need to step it up for my fellow, for my brothers in For Loki. We got to get this done. So it's just a cool thing that we can do. And that's basically it. Now, there are two other tabs here that I have in this template. You guys can delete these tabs if you want to. It's just kind of a fun, interactive thing that we do in For Loki. So, again, you're going to need to have death data for the previous seasons, or at least 2 seasons, so you can compare. But we like to compare our growth as an alliance season over season. So, like I said earlier, we have data from dating back to season 3. So I can see if we died, let's say 10 times on node 55 season 3. Let's say 8 there, 6, 4, 2. All right. And then I can see here, now obviously this is hardly visible because it's including all the nodes, but if I go ahead and hide all these fields and I just use the total down here so I can hide this, then look at this. Isn't this cool? Oh, whoops. Here, let me hide this too. What the hell? Hold up. Alright, if I hide this here, you bastard. Alright. We're going to leave node 55 in there. Alright. If you move the graph, then you can do this. Not a big deal. But, alright. So, look at this. So, total. We can see our growth season over season, which is pretty cool. And then we also do a BG comparison, a battle group comparison. So again, I've only input, you're not going to put in any values here, all right? These are going to be collected from the adjusted difficulty ratings sheet, all right? So I've only input data from battle group 1, but if I hide all this stuff, you're going to see that, battle group 1 is, all right, so I can see, oh, BG1, they died 9 times. BG2 and BG3, they didn't die this season, man. That's crazy. So it's just kind of a fun thing that I've got on this sheet here for you if you want to use it. Okay, but the key obviously is adjusted difficulty rating and power rating. So that's kind of it. Look, this is a rambling little guide here, and you may have questions. And if you have questions, like I said, either comment on this video or shoot me a PM on the Line app. My Line ID is exactly the same as my IGN and my YouTube channel name. It's Ludum Tater. So just shoot me a PM. I can help you kind of work through this. I'm going to bring my face back since I'm talking. Oops, that's the wrong one. Since I'm talking to you guys now. All right, where are we? Webcam, boom. Okay, so long video. This is a long one. All right, but yeah. So that is the power rating system that For Loki uses. It's really interactive. It's really fun. And like I said, it's also a good way to motivate people. One of the things that we were trying to solve in For Loki was, if we're in a war where we're just pounding the opponent, like maybe we got a really favorable matchup, They've already died 50 times, and we want to start testing or experimenting. You know, that's fine, but if we're competing for top 3, or if we're on the fringe in Masters and we need to secure Masters, how do we keep everybody motivated to boost, or to just be really focused to do duels before a fight if that is going to prevent a death? Like, how do we keep people engaged even when the war is clearly out of reach? Either we're getting our asses kicked and there's no way that we're going to win this war, or we're just pummeling the opponent and everybody kind of wants to get loose. How can we keep people motivated to still want to do their very best for everybody else? And combined with some other factors, we came up with this power rating system, and I put together the algorithm, and it's awesome. Like last season, Nick F. and Dr. Do both in Battle Group 1. We're going into the final war of the season with a perfect season on the line. And you heard Nick F. talk about that in, I think, his last war video of Season 6. And he got that. They both got that perfect season, but that reflected too in their power ratings. And so I don't know. It's just a really fun and I think engaging way to bring everybody together, kind of have a friendly game within the alliance. So that is it. Thanks for listening to me for 32 minutes. Holy shit. Again, if you guys have any questions, comment on the video, or PM me on the Line app. I will have the copy link in the description for this video. All you need to do is click on that link, and then Google Drive or Google Sheets will prompt you to make a copy. So you guys can make a copy. It's going to have exactly the same information in it, and then you can start plugging away so that you guys can implement a power rating system for your alliance. And I think that you guys will all have a lot of fun with that, as we do in For Loki. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll be posting some more content here soon. All right.